Hey all, just wanted to make a quick video that would show you how to map a two-dimensional UI onto a three-dimensional plane. So if we look at this scene setup here, we're going to pretend like this is maybe a map that the player might pull up in-game. And it could have all kinds of things like animated on it, show different goals, where the player's at, which direction the player's rotated and everything. And it could all update in real time. So let's go ahead and jump over to this map. And so what we have here is a texture that's set up that is 512 by 512. Oops. That's 512 by 512. And a label here that we're using just to draw an ASCII arrow. In an actual game, you'd probably want an actual graphical arrow, but I found this to be pretty easy to set up and figured I would do it the easiest way possible. Anyway, so if we come over here, what we want to do is we want to add a subviewport. And you can think of a subviewport as maybe like a place to draw everything, like a canvas or something like that. And this subviewport can in turn actually be used by a viewport texture. And anything under this subviewport is essentially like drawing another screen onto it. So let's go ahead and drag our map UI into it. And if you look here, the size by default is 512 by 512, which happens to be the same size as our texture rect here. If your UI were a larger or smaller size, you'd want to set your subviewport to be the same size as that UI. So it's very important that this matches the size if you want it to draw correctly. All right, so let's go back into 3D here. And let's go to this mesh instance where our map is going to be. And then let's add a standard material. We're going to set the albedo to black. And this is just so it won't look all washed out. And then for our emission, we'll turn that on. And we will add our we'll add our viewport texture. Now, when I click this, it's going to give us an error. And it is saying that we need to set this material as local to scene. So let's go ahead and do that. And the reason why it needs that is because when we map this subviewport to the texture, Godot assumes that we might want to instantiate this scene multiple times, and therefore it knows to duplicate this material per time that it instantiates this scene, and then it will map it to the viewport per that scene instantiation. If it were not, it would try and use the same exact material on each instance of the scene. And by the same material, I don't just mean the same material as in it has the same properties. I mean the same material as in the exact same material. And obviously, if it's the exact same material, it can only have one viewport. So that's why they do it that way. You want each instantiation of this scene to have its own link to its own viewport. Anyway, that's a little bit complicated, but that is why you need to do that. In this case, we don't want to instantiate this scene, but it's just one of the rules of the engine. So now we want to add this viewport texture and then assign the viewport. And now we have this mapped to it. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now when I run this, one thing that I didn't show earlier is actually I have a script on this arrow that causes it to rotate, just to show you that this updates live. So let's go ahead and run it. And you'll see that arrow is rotating. And this is all being drawn in 3D. So I hope this video helps you. If you like this video, go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.